I love baseball cards. Got 'em, need 'em, got 'em, need 'em, need 'em, got 'em, need 'em.
Welcome back to another episode of Remember the Great Sports Flea Market Antique Mall Pickups video. Today I'm going to share with you a wide assortment of items that I picked up. I picked up a few random items here and there, at a couple different places recently. And I'm just going to jump right into it. I guess we're going to go with smallest to biggest. I actually found an item that I've been looking for a little while. I already technically owned it, but I'll explain when I get to that. So the first item, these are actually some cards that were in a booth. And this booth was ridiculous, meaning I would say estimate there was probably 30,000 to 35,000 individually priced cards in this booth. I couldn't imagine the time it would take to individually sleeve and price every card like this vendor did. But I guess you got to do what you got to do to make some money. So the first item is 2 Kiss trading cards. And they were in one sleeve together. You can see the price is 60 cents for the pair. And this is drummer Peter Criss. And he, from what I understand, signs TTM. So I'm going to try to track him down and get a couple cards signed by him. Hopefully that's the plan. I also picked up a couple Y&O cards. And I know this is new generation Thundercats. But these were only, get that glare off of there. These were only a quarter piece, and I thought these might be good to send to the voice actor of Lionel. And I'm looking at sending it to the old voice actor, not the current one on this. Hopefully he doesn't mind me sending new artwork. I mean, he still signs them anyway. That's what I'm hoping. But I guess we'll see. At most, I'm out 75 cents if he decides he doesn't want to sign them. Also in this booth, you know how I like my 50-cent cards, or my 5x7 cards. But this is a Moises Alou 5x7 Toys R Us Young Star. Which I thought, being that this is Toys R Us, I'll peel that label off. And this was only 50 cents. I guess technically I could have saved this for a dollar video. I'm just going to pull the stickers off there. But as you can see, the Toys R Us logo at the top. And if I ever get an opportunity to see Moises Alou, this will be the item I probably ask him to sign. And I thought for 50 cents that was a steal. And with the Toys R Us logo at the top, how can you go wrong? So the next item I will talk about really quick here, items I should say, is my favorite player of all time. I almost dropped on the floor, that would have been bad. And that is Mr. David Robinson in a plaque. And I'll hold this a little closer, but you can see the screws there, just a pair of eyeglass repair kit screws or something. I could probably take it out and put a card in there that I want, but the plaque and the card was only $3. I thought, well, for $3 I certainly can find a David Robinson card I can put in there. So I found that for $3, and on that same shelf I found Brad's favorite for only $2, and that is Jose Canseco. In the same deal, I'll probably take that card out and put a different one in there. I do have a signed Canseco card, so I might consider sticking that in there. But, for $2, how can you pass up a plaque? Is the way I look at that. I mean, it's going to cost you a lot more than $2 to get the plaque without the card. So, for $2, especially finding my favorite player, very happy to find that. So we'll move on from there. I do have another David Robinson item that I'm going to share with you, but we're not going to go to that yet. This book, I picked up 2 books, and this one is Pete Rose's book, My Prison Without Bars. It is not autographed. Remember I said in the video, always check to see if it has a signature in it, and it does not. I actually had this book given to me when it first came out many years ago. Let me look at the copyright here. 2004. So I got this book when it was basically new, back in 2004. I lent that book to somebody, and I never got it back. So I was always looking on the cheap for a cheap copy of it. I think I paid $3 for this. If I ever see Pete, might ask him to sign it, but probably not going to see Pete anytime in the near future. So I thought for $3, this was a good replacement to the book that I already had. If you don't have this book, I highly recommend buying it. It's actually a very good book. It basically, Pete admits to doing what he did wrong in the book in 2004 when it was published. This was kind of a big deal when it came out. Now we all know the history of Pete Rose, but you know, he denied doing any wrongdoing basically until this book came out. Then it was kind of a tell-all, you know, kind of like Jose Canseco's book. So if you get a chance, go to the library, you know, check it out. If you see it on the cheap at a, you know, bookstore or a yard sale, definitely grab it. It is a good read, you know, about baseball. So, leading to my next discussion, I found a second book. And by the way, I paid $3 for that. I found a second book, and that was the Garvey autobiography by Steve Garvey and Skip Rosen. And as I said, I always look on the inside, and lo and behold, it is actually signed to John. Unfortunately, my name's not John. But that is an authentic Steve Garvey autograph, from what I can tell. It is dated 5/23/86, so this has been in circulation for quite a while, that autograph. And it goes to show, it pays to look inside of books when you go into flea markets, because you just never know if it's been signed. This booth had, I would estimate, probably about 10 books that were sports related. And after I found this Garvey, I went through every single one of those books to make sure that all of them weren't signed, including the Pete Rose book. That was in the booth as well. So I lucked out, and I added a pretty sweet Steve Garvey autograph to my collection. I'm not one that you know, is big on personalizations. But if you really wanted to, you could probably cut this out and mat it and do all that stuff. But, you know, I'm not going to go through the trouble for Steve Garvey to do that. I mean, if this was, you know, I like it in its entirety. Don't care if it's personalized. I'm not losing money. I paid $3 for it. And I might actually sit down and read it sometime. So, pretty cool. I'm just going to flip through it here. Make sure there's nothing else signed. Nope, just that one page. But this book doesn't have, oh yeah, there's some pictures. As I said, this book doesn't have pictures. But there's the middle insert. Him with Pete Rose that we just talked about. So, pretty cool. And that's the back. Big full color picture of him. But that was a nice pickup. Now this next item, I technically already owned, but I did not own it in the completed seal package. And that is, again, my favorite player, David Robinson's McFarlane figure from, I think, 2003, if I'm not mistaken. Let me take a look here. Sorry about that. 2007, excuse me. 2007. He retired in 2003. So this is a pretty nice sealed package of that. There is a little bit of a dent down here at the bottom in the packaging, so it's not completely mint. A few scratches here and there on the plastic. But I found this in an antique mall, and that's probably why the ding is in the bottom of the plastic. Now, I said earlier in the video, I already own this, so this is what it looks like when you bought it off the shelf. I'm going to stand that up and change the camera, and this is the completed version of that. I actually had the McFarlane already built of David Robinson. There's a little bit of dust on this. But this actually sits on my fireplace mantle in my house. This figurine here, I picked this up at a card show for like $5. I paid $7 for the sealed version at the antique mall. So I thought this was a nice little decorative piece of my favorite player. You know, he's always been my favorite player, always will be. And to find it sealed made me even happier. Now the booth also had more McFarlane figurines. However, they weren't as high a quality as David Robinson. I would say the best other one that they had was the Yao Ming. And I thought about buying it, but then I decided not to on the Yao. But there were some very common figures there. I mean, I want to say there was like a Cade McNown Bears one or something. I mean, it's like, whoa, that's not even the same caliber as David Robinson, at least in my opinion. So, in closing, very happy to add this. Kind of put this guy over in the light so you can see him better. But very happy to add that, and super cool and hyped to get the Steve Garvey autograph and the David Robinson plaque, and of course the Jose Canseco plaque, and a couple random Thundercat cards, Moises Alou. So I hope you enjoyed another episode of my flea market pickups. I enjoyed shooting it. Look forward to your comments below, and stay tuned for future episodes. Thanks.